mean, you have to have
So are
reasonable...
you refusing to identify yourself?
Well, there's no need to.
3916, can we get...
Are you a supervisor? Okay. You just called for a supervisor?
I did.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
On May 17, 2020, a First Amendment auditor named John Mitchell was filming the outside of the St. Louis Park Police Department in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, from a public sidewalk. A few minutes in, Officer Hins, badge number 200, approached him. What began as a simple question quickly turned into a demand for identification, and that's where the law gets interesting. Welcome to Badge Done Right, where we spotlight law enforcement done right. If you're new here, hit subscribe and join us. Now let's get into the story.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much, just walking around.
Videotaping the police department's not a good idea.
Why? You guys are friendly people.
We are, but why are we doing this?
Why wouldn't we?
Because it's a security issue for us.
Is it?
It is?
I don't think so.
It is.
It's public property.
It is public property, but when you start recording our perimeter and our gates and what our activities are, it's a concern to us.
I've only been here for about 15 minutes.
Right. We had officers that drove by and saw you pulling out of here, walking out of here, and said that you were recording them as they left.
I did.
Yeah, and that's an issue. Why are we doing that?
I don't have to have a reason.
You don't have a reason.
I don't have to have one.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license? I can see.
I don't.
What is your name?
I'm not going to give that to you.
You're not going to give it to me.
No. Why would I give it to you? I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, you're recording our property, you're recording our building,
Sure.
and it's a security issue for us.
Am I being detained?
You are.
Okay.
Until I can get you identified.
And what's your reasonable,
because I want to make sure that you're
articulable
not doing
suspicion?
something that's a problem for our law enforcement community.
So in order to detain somebody, you have to have a law that you're investigating, correct? So what law do you suspect me of breaking?
Here's something a lot of people get wrong. An officer doesn't have to name one specific crime to have what's called reasonable suspicion. In the landmark case Terry versus Ohio, the Supreme Court said reasonable suspicion requires specific and articulable facts, not just a hunch. But here's the key. Lawful activity doesn't become suspicious just because an officer feels uneasy about it. In the 1968 case Cebron versus New York, the court held that the inference that a person doing a lawful thing is secretly committing a crime is not the kind of reasonable inference needed to justify stopping them. Apply that here. Filming a public building from a public sidewalk in broad daylight is a constitutionally protected activity. The idea that someone doing it must be casing the building for a break-in isn't a reasonable inference, it's a guess. Officer Hins had a suspicion. He did not have reasonable suspicion.
Are you looking to create a problem here for us?
No, not at all. I'm being polite and cordial.
I'm being polite and cordial too, so I'm asking for
being a
your
little
name and date of
difficult.
birth so we can identify you.
I don't need to.
And be on our way.
Why would I need to identify myself?
Because I'm asking you to identify yourself.
What's your name and badge number?
My name is Todd Hines. My badge number is 200.
Okay. Your name and badge
We're
number?
recording you just like you're recording
Good.
us.
Okay, good.
So,
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd like to be on my way to go. I mean, you have to have
so are
reasonable...
you refusing to identify yourself?
Well, there's no need to.
3916, can we get...
Are you a supervisor? Okay. You just called for a supervisor?
I did.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't have any ill will. I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm
What's
not
the problem
armed.
with identifying yourself?
I don't need to.
You don't need to.
No, it's my right to not.
Oh, so you're looking to create problems is what you're doing.
No, you're just accusing me of that.
Absolutely, because you're refusing to identify yourself.
That's not against the law.
It's obstructing legal process if we have a reason to ask you.
This is the heart of it. Minnesota is one of the states, roughly half of them, that has no stop and identify law on the books. That matters here. The officer reached for Minnesota's obstruction statute, section 609.50, which makes it a crime to obstruct the lawful execution of legal process. But the key words are lawful execution. Because Hins had no legal authority to compel Mitchell's ID in the first place, the command to produce it wasn't lawful, which means refusing it couldn't be obstruction. In plain terms, he was trying to use an obstruction law to fill a gap the state legislature chose to leave open, based on nothing more than his own opinion that Mitchell was, quote, looking to create problems.
What's your reason? I've asked you that.
Identify you. I just told you.
No, but I asked you.
You're recording our property.
I have
You're
to identify
recording what we're
myself.
doing.
Correct. And I have
I
to
asked you
identify myself
yourself.
if you have
And you're
a
refusing.
reasonable,
I do.
articulable suspicion. And what is that?
You're looking to create problems, is what you're doing.
Is that what I'm doing? By just
that's
filming
my
and
opinion.
exercising my First Amendment rights?
That is my opinion, yes.
Okay. Well, the good thing is the law doesn't go off your opinion.
but it does when you're obstructing our requests.
You can't. You can request, right? But it's not a lawful order.
It is a lawful order at this point.
If
And as soon as my sergeant gets up
Sure.
here, he's going to tell you the same thing.
okay.
Okay?
There's a deeper problem here that trips up officers and citizens alike. At least 44 states, plus the District of Columbia and the federal government, make it a crime to disobey a lawful order. But the law rarely defines what makes an order lawful. Courts have mostly sidestepped it. One New York court said a lawful order is simply one designed to reasonably achieve its lawful objective, then didn't explain further. An Oregon appeals court admitted judges must decide case by case with few, if any, bright-line rules. That uncertainty has real consequences. In the 2015 arrest of Sandra Bland, an officer asked her to put out a cigarette, arguably a request, not an order, and treated her refusal as defiance, which escalated into an arrest. And while the Supreme Court's Pennsylvania v. Mims decision clearly allows an officer to order a driver out of a vehicle, that cigarette instruction lived in the gray zone. Bland was later found dead in her jail cell days after the arrest, and the case became a national flashpoint. The lesson is simple. When the line between a request and a lawful order is blurry, encounters escalate fast. Mitchell's good fortune was that Officer Hinz paused to call his supervisor before pushing any further.
This gentleman's got a First Amendment right, he says, to videotape our activities around the police department, and he's refusing to identify himself so that we know who we're dealing with.
Okay, you don't want to identify yourself?
Well, I don't need to. He said he doesn't suspect me of a crime or anything, and
I'm just asking.
No, but no, sir, I
Just
don't.
asking. Okay, we're good. Let's go.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
My name's John, by the way. Thanks. Take care, guys.
Cooperation, American.
What's that?
Thanks for your cooperation.
Sergeant, what was your name and badge number?
Sergeant Native, badge number 239.
Thank you, sir. You have a good day.
Moments later, a sergeant arrived. And this is where the story turns. He assessed the scene, recognized that Mitchell's conduct was entirely legal, and ended the encounter. No ID handed over. No arrest. The St. Louis Park officers left, and Mitchell walked back to his vehicle without further incident. Mitchell has since said he chose not to file a formal complaint, but did call the department about a week later, and was told a supervisor would be addressing the issue with the officers involved. Here's why this one matters. Officer Hinz got the law wrong. He tried to turn a protected activity into a crime, leaned on a statute that didn't fit, and let his own read of a man with a camera stand in for actual reasonable suspicion. That's the part to learn from, not as an attack on him, but as a lesson every officer can use. Now watch the sergeant. He didn't circle the wagons, he didn't back his officer just because they share a uniform. He looked at the facts, saw a citizen doing nothing wrong, and shut the encounter down, fast. That takes a kind of confidence that's easy to underrate. The willingness to correct your own people in the moment, on camera, without ego. And credit to Mitchell, too. He held his ground without raising his voice, asserted his rights without turning it into a brawl, and followed up afterward so the department could learn from it instead of just walking away angry. A badge doesn't guarantee good judgment, but good judgment, a supervisor willing to say he's free to go, is exactly what keeps a questionable stop from becoming a wrongful arrest. That's the sergeant's win, and it's the whole reason this channel exists. That's the story out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Proof that good policing isn't the exception, it's a choice officers make every single day. Subscribe, stay sharp, and remember, accountability works both ways. I'll see you in the next story.